I can remember at first it was very hard.
I found it very tough at the start. I was on supervised access. I was basically fighting addiction and I was fighting against the social workers at the same time.
When my child went to care, it is hard, like. It was hard to let him go. You know, because you feel upset and angry and, you know, you feel hurt, like. Well, I felt that I let him down.
It's kind of overwhelming. So you try and buy them loads of presents to show that you love them, you miss them. But in my case, I had supervision order with me. So I was supervised every time I met my two kids. It was in a coffee shop and my son, he wanted to go to the toilet and I wasn't allowed to bring him. But the social worker brought him in because I wasn't allowed, and that kind of stripped a piece of me away.
You put your head in the sand. It's so hard to face up and admit to the fact that the reason that your child isn't with you is because of your choices and your decisions. And it takes a long time to be able to get the courage to face up to that. And that's why it's so hard at the start.
I was frozen, I couldn't talk, I was like a mute. I used to walk with my head down. Couldn't smile, couldn't look at people, and it's like I had no voice. I wasn't me anymore. I wasn't a mother. I wasn't a person. I was a disappointment. I was ashamed. How could I do this?
I used to cry. I used to leave every time crying. After every visit, go for a walk for 20 minutes by myself, just to clear my head. There was certain songs that I'd listen to that would help me. I had to find something that would help me afterwards. I felt like I was being watched. It was like I was on Big Brother. I couldn't be natural with him. If you're not natural with your child, that's going to affect them in the situation. And then eventually you move on to the stage where you actually start to feel comfortable and natural.
At the end of the day, it's still going to be our child or children that you're going to be spending time with. Just think it's yourself and the kids in the room or whatever. The person that's supervising it at the back of your mind, and not to be nervous. You know, you will be nervous. I was at the start, but then I've got a great communication with the people that do the access and stuff. Just don't be afraid and just spend time with your kids.
I started to get counselling, and instead of being shut down so much, I had to work at it hard. But I got back up on my feet and I realised, I might go down a few steps, but I can come back up another few. I kept building from there. It got easier when I started getting stronger in myself and getting my own confidence back. And my kids could see the confidence coming back, so they worked with me. And the more we kind of bonded, we were like the Three Stooges kind of thing, and things started getting easier and we kind of fell into place then. It became a routine. I was lucky that I had once a week for 2 hours, and then it started gradually building up twice a week for 2 hours, and then it went up to 3 days, and then it went into overnights, and then it went into shared care near the end. I had good access in a way. I had phone calls whenever I want, and I collected him after the supervision stopped. I used to go up to the school and meet. He was happy as anything coming out and see his mum standing there.
When you lose your kids, your life gets torn apart, it's broken. You have to start putting this jigsaw puzzle back together, and you need to get this jigsaw puzzle built back up piece by piece. You can't be there for your child unless you put yourself first. Sometimes I had to put myself first, and I wasn't being selfish doing that. I had to build myself back up so that I could be the parent that my child needed. So I had to take a time out for myself, do that, and get to the stage then where I'm able to be there for my child because I'm fixed myself. Now, I'm not 100% because I'm human and nobody's 100% fixed, but I can be there for both my children better now because I'm a better person. The most important thing about access is to make sure that you keep your connection with your child because it can be lost so easily.
because I didn't know at the start that there was help there, and it was through a friend of mine that taught me about the advocacy groups. But the main fact is like the advocacy groups are great. If you need support and help, it's the best way to go.
Now, what I actually do for my access is, my son gets a treat, but not every access. We do the shopping. I go home, I'm cleaning the house, I'm cooking the dinner, he's playing. We have a normally family life for the access now. Being separated from your kids is hard, but when you look at the whole process of what has been the hardest, you have to stand up, accept responsibility for the situation, and you want your kids to forgive you, you want to be able to forgive yourself, and you want a normal life back.
The point I'm at right now at the moment is I know where everyone's coming from now. I'm going through the system still. I know where the social worker side is coming from, but I also know where the parents are coming from. No one actually knows how it feels until you go through it yourself. I've gone through it, I know exactly how it is. It's hard. It is hard for parents because it feels like your whole soul is just sucked out of your body. But there is support. For new parents out there that are coming into the system, I reckon, look into it. Look into like the support of the advocacy groups. You will be heard. Speak to someone. Have a chat. There's a lot of support there. You need to go look for it.
You need to look at your child and think, what's best for them? And that's the most important thing. Make sure that when you're looking for more access, you're looking for unsupervised visits, you need to prove yourself first.
I had to build up trust again with them, show them that I wasn't going to leave them down again. It took years, my kids are home, but I'm still building that trust. So it doesn't stop when they come home. You're constantly building trust and respect for each other. And at first you spoil them. Because you're trying to make up for lost time, you're trying to make up for all your mistakes. So I was running out of money, I was taking it out of Peter to pay Paul type money. I had to stop and think of going, I can't keep this up. So I had to sit down and talk to them and give them a limit for Christmas and birthdays and stuff. I think you're trying to figure out who each other is again. How are we going to get back to being a proper family after so long that we've been apart?
Well, my hopes would be if I can get my child home. Just think of the positive side of it. Just keep the faith, don't give up hope.
He could be home within 6 months, could be 9 months, it could be a year. We're going to go at his pace, what suits him. But I know that at the end of it, what's going to happen. I'll get to be a full-time mammy again. I'm not just going to be a part-time mammy. I will have my proper family life that I want. I'm such a different person now than when all of this started. I don't like who I was. And I like who I am now.